for a reason to quit. Let's give it to him. Big, big, big!
In or out, it's your call.
There's no ref here.
That's on us.
Decisions like these are about trust.
That's spirit, not a slogan.
But to be fair,
Even when the game is on the line.
It's not easy.
Sometimes it gets intense.
Because spirit keeps the game bigger than the point.
Bigger than the call.
bigger than me,
It's how I know I can go all out.
and trust my opponent will too.
It's not just rules, it's respect.
Because when you respect the call,
You respect the player.
It's every decision you make.
Every conversation, every point.
It's the reason I compete at my best.
And when I have to make the call,
in or out,
I'll call it honestly.
Because spirit is the standard.
And we don't play below it.
You want me to hide this water bottle?
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Welcome back, fans, to our continuing coverage of the Canadian Ultimate Championships 2026 here in beautiful Surrey, British Columbia. We're at the Newton Athletic Park Sports Complex here on the traditional lands of the Coast Salish peoples, bringing you an open matchup in the, well, this is quarterfinal, so we're into bracket play between Kamloops Helios and Manitoba's team Toba. I'm Clayton Howlett, joined here with Brianne Wager. Excited to call this game for you. I know I am. I got my reasons. Wage, we were talking a little bit before. What are you looking forward to here?
Yeah, I'm excited. This is actually a repeat of the quarter matchup last year, which went to Universe Point. And so this should be a really good game. There's a little bit of wind, so maybe we'll see some zone out there, but not too windy that I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of person defense as well.
It's been this park, the wind tends to pick up as the day goes on. I mean, like most places. It was pretty calm this morning, and then the conditions start to show up a little bit. We can also see kind of those like mirage heat waves coming up from the turf here. So it is pretty warm out here right now. There's misting tents at this tournament.
Ooh,
Yeah, you
good
got to
to
go
know,
find
good
that
to
later.
know.
So, but all the teams have shade tents, most anyway, and our crowds under the, canopy over there. So weather management has been pretty good at this tournament, but of course that wind always comes into play and gets in the way on the field proper. Helios in the dark today. They will be pulling. Our observer just holding on to the disc to wait for the horn for official game start. Quite the sticklers for official game start, which I think is great. If you've ever gotten it wrong and lost the game with the wrong timing, so frustrating. Toba in the white, and they'll be starting on offense. Now, both of these teams have lost one game, and it was in their 1-1 crossover. So Helios lost to Ignite. So the winner of those two pools faced off against each other. So Helios won. Oh, no,
That
that's
would have
wrong.
been a
That's wrong.
2-3 matchup.
Yes. Yeah, Helios actually lost their one game in their pool, but then rolled through their first crossover, while Toba over here lost their matchup to Dino in the crossover. But nevertheless, Toba was kind of through from the get-go, winning their pool yesterday, while Helios was in a position to get knocked out in that crossover, but won their game. So here we are. The horn goes, and Helios with the pull. Helios hustling down into this arrowhead zone, the diamond zone. We've been seeing this a lot from teams. How will Toba move through it? With a lot of sideways passing to get going here. And now they're off to the races. Pros looking for options. Holding the disc for a while, doesn't seem too disturbed by it. Raichura now looking for the swing. Helios eating that up right away though. But Froze comes back for the easy reset. Hearing the coaches from the sideline move the disc. So they had that momentum at the beginning. It slowed down. Chang holding on to it. Has Raichura chiseling. Getting some stay wides from the sideline, trying to use the full width of the field. Chang finds a hole in the middle to Froze. Raichura finds another one to Airy. And hearing a melt call from the Helios sideline as they fall into match defense. On the doorstep now, looking for the reset back to Froze. He gets into a give-go. And Horn had the right idea for that give-go, but his inside throw on the backhand too late, and that falls behind, causing a turnover. Helios with the break chance. And a huge bid foul called, though. Alex Horn coming on the inside to bring it down. The argument from Mason Gazda that I had it, commonly known as a strip call.
Yeah, it used to be called strip, but there was a change where you just call foul, and then if you need to clarify, you say it was a strip, I had possession of it, and the defender knocked it out. If they caught it at the same time, that tie does go to offense. It looks like they're maybe asking for the observer's opinion here.
I felt this one was pretty tight. It looked like there was some contact there. The bid was well timed, but there was certainly hands mingling there. So it's hard to say actually who had that first.
I think the disc going back to the thrower, it's a common resolution and just a nice little do-over.
So Helios does get the do-over here. Instead, they go over to Liam Gazda. And Helios running a vert offense here. They find Matheson. Matheson looking for some options. Orser running the scoop cut in front, immediately throws in power position. Mason Gazda going up high, bounces off his hand, and another foul call. Wage, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I think the call might have been that there was a bump as he was making a play for the disc. It did look like his hands were clearing the airspace there, but not uncommon that there could be a little bit of a bump. Some contact is to be expected, though, it's whether or not it really did affect his play on the disc.
So we go to the observer ruling here, tapped on his shoulder saying, we're making my ruling, and then hands out to the side. That safe symbol from baseball means no foul.
Yeah, so incidental contact did not affect the offense's play on the disc, so the turnover will stand.
Rose picks up, facing off against this arrowhead zone again. Raichura. Go back to him as they try to get the front of this zone moving. Helios staying somewhat loose. They gamble, and it doesn't pay off, and now Santos gets a gain on the sideline. He'll look for the reset. Froze. Gets the disc moving around. Raichura has it in the middle. He finds Santos on the side. Good give-go. Raichura goes for a little walk, not called. Floats it to the middle. Froze finding the big gap. And a bobble. It looked to me, Tommy Airy definitely trying to look at the next pass before completing his catch. Helios again with an opportunity. Liam Gazda moves the disc to Orser. His pass is low, but caught and signaled up by his defender. That's Carter Hanlon digging it out of the ground there. Gazda. That's Liam. He finds it through the middle to his brother Mason. Mason's pass a little soft, but Matheson's able to reach out At the last second, he's looking for a recess, and his pass is also a little floaty, and that catches up with Helios. Helios seemingly poaching here. Doesn't have their zone totally set up, but now they get into it. Toba having success so far moving the disc against the zone and just seemingly making errors in the red zone when they end up in a match defense on the melt. So things calming down here. They find a gap. And another kind of light pass and timeout called. Wage, how many 0-0 timeouts have you seen in your career?
You know, when a point goes on this long, we are at about the 6-minute mark for this first point here. Not unsurprising. Really quick thinking, though, on that transition, because normally we'll notice it when someone's walking to the disc and they let their team know, hey, I'm about to call a timeout. But on an interception like that, immediate signal for the timeout, not many of those.
No.
Especially from a junior player. That's a good head on the shoulders there.
Yeah. I didn't actually hear any coaches calling for it either.
No. I will say the communication from Helios, though, on setting up their zone and transitioning out of it has been really good. You can hear on the field that melt into call. Really important when you're zoning to communicate so that you can pick up on that transition. And Clay, like you mentioned, forces those turnovers in that red zone. During the transition from zone to person is often when you will see those opportunities happen for the defense.
Yeah. Suddenly that added pressure on the downfield cutters, but also it's almost like this little trap when you're on offense. You hear the melt, you're like, yeah, we beat the zone, let's run a gun, let's go, and you play too fast.
You play too fast, there's a little bit of chaos as they're transitioning, and yeah, that's when the errors happen.
So on this timeout, you'll see the defenders here, Toba, they're all kind of huddled up, waiting for Helios to get into position. The offense has to set up after 70 seconds, and then after that, the defense has 20 additional seconds to get position. So after timeouts, you can go wherever you want, but the defense does get a chance to match. This looks like an ISO with one player directly in front, isolated to be the cutter, but they don't go for it. Instead, it's a fake to set up a handler cut, and once again playing a little too fast. Gazda had the juke, but started thinking about the next pass before he caught it. Raichura flips that over to Mitra. Back to Raichura. He's on marks, so no stall count, so he has all the time in the world here to look for what he wants. Looks off a few contested throws, and instead has Chang underneath. Chang throws that around. It's up high and defended. Once again, Helios, that's two they've snacked on as the wind has caught the disc and given them a shot floating over the heads of their receivers. Mason Gazda wide open underneath. His pass floats, but a great read there by Dylan Matheson, and he shoots to deep, finds number 12, Carter Hanlon. And that long point, you hear the crowd just go off. Called the timeout, got the point, Wage.
Got it.
Long battle.
And that was a break for Helios, too. So what a way to start off this quarterfinal matchup. Long, grinding point. They held that zone for almost the entire point off each transition there. And like I said, I really like the communication as they were picking up in the red zone there. You notice the Toba player without a mark for a good amount of time, ensuring that all the downfield was matched up so they didn't have an immediate scoring opportunity, saving the person with the disc for last, because if you have the disc, you can't score. So that was really smart defense, and it paid off for them.
So that sort of starting a game with that sort of energy too. I mean, like when you have a battle plan. What was the time mark on that point? Like 10 minutes-ish?
Just about. I think we were probably at 8.5 there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's funny. You look at some games and you're like, okay, that didn't feel like the first point. You had
100%.
Several turnovers. You had, some calls, some contested catches, a ton of energy, a timeout. 10 minutes has gone by and the score is 1-0. So very early, like Toba has really nothing to worry about yet. Maybe you want to tighten things up with your O-line. This pull will land in. And if it rolls out the back, they will be permitted to bring it up. It did. So if the pull lands inbounds, even in the end zone, but rolls out the back, the offense can bring it up to the front, as they are doing right now. That's Throws with the disc. Looking for a hole against that diamond zone. Not there as the shoulders tighten up to take it away. Trying to stay in that throwing lane position. But they find a gap now, hitting Howes. And Howes gets into a give-go with his teammate. And you hear the milk call from Helios, and they're going to punish that. Howes is still unmarked and is able just to do that quick release to keep his feet moving. Jan doesn't like the open side, elects to go around. Howes staying chilly now. Cruz able to find the pass, and Liam Howes gets the goal. You saw it. A little bit of a taunt there. Did you see that too?
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
I've seen taunts with a lot less of a, in your face get carded before, and it is something that we've seen carded at this tournament. I don't think it'll happen this early, but good energy for Toba there, and Howes. I mean, despite me saying that was his point.
Yeah,
he was everywhere.
Absolutely. And what a stark contrast to the point before. That one lasted maybe a minute, if that. It does look like Toba's really trying to break through the zone using their throws. There's not a lot of movement downfield, but you'll notice as soon as they got that throw to the middle, it opened up a lot of space, and they were able to just continue rolling all the way down the field.
Yeah, that diamond zone, I mean, I'm not sure if you've run it. The teams are coaching very much. I've run it a lot, and you're kind of like banking on allowing the lateral throws to get off. The lateral swings and dumps, that's totally okay. And you just have to stop the middle. It's no upfield throws, no over the tops. And you play the stats game of if you have to make 40 throws, you're probably going to turn it over. But if they get it through the middle like that, game over.
Yeah, and that's what you were saying last point. All those throws, they did end up making a mistake. Whereas there, as soon as they were able to capitalize through the middle, had all the space in the world to work with.
That pull takes the best roll ever. So now this will come in on the corner. The wind is blowing from the top left of your screen diagonally across to the bottom right. So being in this corner off a pole sucks.
Yeah, affectionately known as the coffin corner, because you are trying to throw right into a headwind, whether you're throwing upfield or crossfield. Super challenging for the throwers.
Mullen does get out of it, though, as Blaze comes down from the stack to help him out. And his throw is bobbled. Blaze looks at his hands. He knows, he's like, that's not what I was looking for. And that mistake is quite costly now as Zay Bekta is able to pick it up right on the goal line, gets into an ISO with number 41 right away. That's Winson Jan, a rookie on the team. He's a standout. Tagged by his coaches as one to watch as he puts his defender on skates for the quick break. The score, 2-1 Toba.
Can't ask for a much more efficient offense than that.
Yeah, you hate that as the Helios coach because it's a mistake, and mistakes can happen anywhere on the field, but that's the one that gets under players' skin, the one they dwell on. You even saw Blaze like looking at his hands like, what? Good to see him back out there. Blaze has played a total of 30 seconds, right? So it's good to get him back out there. Forget about that mistake. You got this. Keep that confidence up for that player rather than benching him and saying, oh, sorry, bro, you had your shot.
No, absolutely. And the thing about Ultimate, too, is the previous point really has no impact on the next point unless you let it mentally affect you. So it's a new point, new offensive strategy here for Helios.
Coach Duncan Schall's out there. Telling them what to do. Just became a Team Canada coach.
Very exciting.
Yeah, very cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah, there's lots of TC around here on the field. We've got several players, including Howes, who we were talking about, of the Team Canada variety. Got Raichura's older brother coaching Toba, and he was on the U19 team a few years ago. That ball sails out of bounds, and Mullen will take the disc. I coached Mullen's brother at the University of Victoria.
Are they similar players?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
For Carter's sake, I think, he doesn't want his brother to be better, but we shall see. Mullen. goes for the strike off the set play right away. 2 Toba players in coverage. And Stefano Fader just elevates above the 2 taller defenders who I would say even had a better read on it. What a sky.
The defenders were in great position there, one on the inside, one trying to come around as well, but the offense there, they read it, they knew where they were going, they knew they were able to attack high and come down with that. And what a throw as well, leading out to space. This is where you say they really knew their receiver and they trusted that they were going to come down with that disc despite the double coverage.
Yeah. That was, and you know, you got to highlight the height difference.
Yeah.
Like elevating early against 2 kind of one poach defender and then your man who's like slightly taller than you, but then the poach defender who's like quite a bit taller.
Yeah.
That was huge.
That was a big sky there. And like I said, some efficient offense too means you're ready to send that D-line out right away, especially in a quarterfinal matchup like this where it can be close. The more efficient you can run your offense, the fresher they will become late stages of the game.
And exactly what they needed as an answer after like that O-line, after making that earlier mistake, right? Now it's just like, okay, we know we can do this. Let's get efficient out there. We made a mistake. Let's come right back out swinging and just get her done.
Absolutely. Let's see if they're going to send down that arrowhead zone again here.
So, Liam Gaza with the pull. That will land inbounds. It's low, so Helios is going to have to hustle to get down there. Horn looking for options. He does get the arrowhead zone coming down on him. Raichura, though, was available for reset, and we'll give it back to him. Froze. Likes to go over the top, and well played by Tommy Airy, as there was a defender in the area. Chang and Raichura play a little pitch and catch. Close on that pass to Froze, but just shy of the layout D. Chang goes around to Horn. Here a play call from Toba here where it's a handler ISO. Now, Winoya is going to come off the front. He gets into it, give go with Raichura. It's not there. And number 90, Isaac Chang, catches his defender, watching the handler dominator, and comes off the front of the stack for the hold. The score, 3-2, Toba.
Yeah, a couple of close calls there, I think. Orzer on Helios there, looking to pick off that Scuba to the middle, was close on it. And later on there, attempted layout block as well. And you really like to see that hustle on defense. Because sometimes you can't wait for the offense to just make a mistake. You have to go hunting for that disc and cause that turnover yourself. Unfortunately, I think maybe got used to looking for those poach plays and wasn't as focused on the person defense in the end zone there. And that's where you do need to tighten up and just shut down your person.
The parity in the junior division is sometimes not very close. You know, This is a very large tournament, and you can play teams earlier in pool play or in a crossover that you can tell you have a lot more experience on, you have a lot more practice on, and you do get used to bad habits sometimes.
Absolutely.
Right? And that can be a trap if you come into a game and you kind of like you don't even know that you've developed like that looking at the dominator and not seeing someone can take advantage, right? You're not used to being on your toes where anything could happen, and it can be an adjustment, and it's tough that those adjustments often happen in these big games as it comes down to the champion. That pull lands out of bounds so Gavin Mullen will jog this up to the brick. The brick is marked with the blue X in the middle of the field. Not sure if you can see that on your screen. It's pretty small, but when a disc goes out of bounds, you do get field position in the middle, about 15 yards up from the end zone. Mullen immediately goes around to Blaze. And while there was a poach, Toba elects to go straight match defense. This throw is just brought down by the wind. Lloyd Hagan turned on the Jets, but the wind did him no favors, pushing the face of the disc down into the ground. Zay Bekta is going to pick up. And Toba calls the play, and North Redder wanted it that throw was sort of behind. He's calling the foul, I think, Wage, I would say because he felt like he was hindered when he tried to turn to get the disc.
That might be the call. It was an underthrow. It is hard, I think, as an offensive player to call fouls when you have to adjust to a poorly executed throw. The defender was just holding their place. It didn't look like they made a move one way or the other. So personally, I probably would leave it live, but I can understand that they may have felt contact when making that play on the disc.
I have a similar take. Okay, observer ruling no foul, mainly because I feel that Redder in this case, while he was hindered, he's the one that initiated, right?
I would agree.
Right? It's not like Helios could have done anything about that.
Helios was running,
Helios didn't initiate it. Yeah. Yeah. So the right call.
Yep. And nothing wrong with making that call either and having that discussion.
Absolutely. Yeah. And asking the observer is good too. I mean, that's the clarity you want. So done it. Has Lloyd on the open side. Moulin's trying to set up a reset. A little bit of dancing. Is able to get it out to space just. And then he's going to go up the line to Blaze. And that's in.
Yeah.
Helios with the hold.
Really safe play by the Toba player there. If you notice, there was someone poaching in that lane. Noticed that Helios had space and didn't attempt to make a play for the block there. That can be a contentious, dangerous play sometimes.
Yeah.
If you're jumping into blind, 100%.
Yeah.
But Toba there to pressure it. Didn't initiate any contact, and a nice upline goal for Helios. Especially in that tight space there. We had that small reset throw and immediately another upline look. If it's working for them.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. Helios actually told us before the game they felt like they were missing some height this year on their roster. And just, you know, you're remarking on that play, they are using those like quick throws, using the wheels, depending on their resets to get the disc. So playing that small ball to get it up the field. Also not afraid, though, to hit their speedsters that are going deep.
Yep.
I mean, earlier we talked about missing the height after, you know, one of the shorter players on their team skied everybody. So it doesn't seem to be hurting them earlier when, you know, Fader got that huge reception. So
yeah, height isn't everything.
No. But tie game 3-3. Love to see this in a quarterfinal.
Absolutely.
The sustain, who can maintain this energy and stay in the game. It does get, there is a fatigue. It is hard to keep your energy up when you just keep trading and going back and forth because it's a lot. You're focused every point. You're tight every point. It doesn't feel like the momentum swinging one way or another. So, diamond zone again. Toba does not care, except an airy throw on the reset that was available allows 27 Gabe Neufeld to come under and get that, or undercut the handler, I should say, and get the D. Chang goes up the line. Matheson elevates 5 yards outside of the end zone, looking for a reset, goes up the line with the around. And a bobble, a goal. He received it, but it's out of bounds. Observers do lines and time. So the observers will call the ins and outs. And that was out of bounds when he finally got possession. Helios throws the zone right down, though. I think it bounced. Wait.
Yeah, that is a close call on turf. You have a lot of room for error, but well, it looks like they're deciding to play on even without going to the observer. They called it up.
Quick discussion. So now Toba moving the disc quick. Airy was headed deep wide open, but he's kind of deep, so he's trying to get his check downfield moving. Seeing a lot of zone motion up front, a lot of match defense in the back, but now the zone is starting to set up in a little bit more of a traditional sense. Horn chases that down and finds Chang. Back to Horn. He'll take the easy swing over to Raichura. Disc in the middle of the field. They find the gap to Chang. This is where Toba has excelled against the zone, is finding that gap in the middle after a few resets. So they'll reset it again. Raichura looks for the slash cut in front. Instead, finds the gap to Chang once again. Some give-go. And elect to go to the reset. Guanoya getting involved in front. As the handler core falls back in, Chang is able to get the slash cut from the front of the stack in this match defense. Throws, elevates. And a great grab by Ritura, who has to get low and leave his feet to make the athletic rolling grab.
That was a nice grab there. That was a hold for Toba, so they're still on serve here, but Helios did make them work, and they had an opportunity there. Super close call. Really nice defensive play, too, for still in the zone. That defender to recognize the swing. Hesitated just a moment so that it looked open, and then absolutely snacked on it. So good pressure from the defense there. Unfortunately, not able to convert that turn and gave Toba another chance to work it down the field.
Yeah, a heartbreaker when you have that opportunity to get the break and take the lead once again. But it does give Helios a chance to come and be like, oh, just a little bit extra.
Yeah.
A little bit extra on our execution, and we're there. We are so there.
And that is something that they said they are working on, is converting those breaks. And that's something a lot of teams struggle with regardless of the level and how long you've been playing, especially if you've been out there for a long point and you've been running on defense, to then convert that somewhat chaotic energy on defense and scrambly zone effort into some calm offense. Challenging to flip that switch.
So 4-3. I wrote that down wrong. 4-3 Toba. About to say Helios. This pole is going to stay inbounds. Yes? Yes.
Nice read, Clay.
Thanks, yeah. I'm good at reading poles, not throwing them. Oh, no. A little execution there. Bobbles out of the hands of Gavin Moulin as he and Fader tried the give-go. They were wide open together, but we see this often, looking at the next throw before they have it. Zay Bekta swings that across to Liam House, coming off his TC experience. He's going to turn around for the easy backhand. And Toba is psyched. You see the look back on the cut across from Atticus Cruz, another TC player. Once those players start running, it doesn't seem that anything can stop them.
Yeah, and Toba did a really nice job there of using their break throws. There's a nice inside backhand to the break side there, shifting the momentum, and then they came back towards that open side. But if a team is able to throw those breaks, it means the defender has to respect that space that much more, and it will open up the rest of the field for them as well.
Yeah. You often see that develop in higher skill teams. It's just so many goals on the breaks on the defenders. You often see those card defenders too, just kind of throw their hands and be like, well, I did the best I could, right? It's and why so many games, why O-lines are so consistent is because they have those throws and can get around the force. Not a common sight in juniors by the numbers. You really only your top end teams can pull off that throwing skill. It is a very difficult thing to do. But also, when you're running with that speed and your check never gets on you, it does make it easier.
It does open up things a little bit more for sure.
Score 5-3 for Toba. Is the first 2-point gap in the game. That pole's going to bounce. Fielded by Moulin. Fader and he get into this give-go this time with some focus. Done it. We'll find Fader. He'll flip that to Moulin, who lays out immediately to keep that alive. He's got to swing around to Blaze. Lee puts that up top to Blaze. And another goal for Blaze up the line with some speed. He had an error earlier, but it seems like he has answered back with his confidence. 2 goals in this game now. The score 5-4.
That was a nice find there. Just putting the throw out to space. There was another pair in the end zone there. I thought the defender might have gone to pick it off, but that throw, I think, just pinpoint for the receiver that the defender did not have a play there. So great find.
I believe that was number 58, Owen Lee, with the assist. And first time we've seen him make an impact in this game with, a doubt of a throw.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's cool. These quarterfinals, all bracket play except for the final has the same rules: 75-minute soft cap, 85-minute hard cap, 2 timeouts per half, and timeouts are allowed in caps. So business as usual. With the way things are going. This is going to be a tight one. We'll probably come down to time unless the team goes on a run.
Well, with that 8-minute point to start us off, I would imagine we
right.
will probably get to that time cap.
Yeah, very good point. Half is capped at 45 minutes. So in 15 minutes, if neither team has 7 points, what will happen is they'll finish the point, add one to the highest score, and we'll take half at whatever that is. Liam Gazda's pole holds the edge into the wind and sails out of bounds, so Toba will be able to get this to the brick. Helios, based on their position, will come down in a zone here. And Toba recognizing pretty quickly as Liam Howes brings this up. Oh, excuse me, that was Damon Rachura bringing it up. And to no surprise, we see Toba moving this quickly and kind of clinically through the zone. Quinoia has Rachura in the middle. And a big layout bid by Helios. Number 99, Billion Matheson had the read on that. Probably saw the pattern of the disc moving across, and he's fired up to get that D. Picks up the disc and is now looking for a reset. And that disc bounces off of the chest of Tristan Orzer. Kind of a weird reset, a little bit lazy. And they get it right back. Quinoia out of bounds there, but it seems the Helios players didn't really know how to vocalize the call. Okay, so Jang explains it to him that he just was out of bounds on that pass. Jang moves that to Raichura. Matheson in the area, hungry for another bit, it looks like, but Toba throwing some fakes, trying to be a little bit safer here. Throws, getting instructions to go back around, has Raichura for the dump. And Quinoia making a big impact in the handler core, staying involved. The dependable reset. Chang's gonna huck. This will be contested. And seemed to me that he and Mitra had the superior read, but pressure from Mason guys that caused him to go up early. And timeout Helios. Their second timeout of the half after taking that 1-on-0-0.
Yeah, maybe just resetting a little bit mentally here. We had that huge defensive play by Matheson down near the attacking brick mark there. Like I said, sometimes you need that sort of energy in that play to actually create the turnover. Unfortunately, was not able to convert that point. And so hopefully trying to reset, calm down some of the energy now that they're back on offense here and see if they can get that break back.
So on a timeout, teams have, the offense, I should say, has 70 seconds to signal readiness, where they will set up, like we saw earlier offensively, and then the defense will have an additional 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
These timeouts, sitting on the mic, we said this on some of the other streams, this feels like it takes a long time. When you're out there, though, the timeout feels like it never happened.
Yeah. Curious to see what Helios comes out with here. Last time they came out of their timeout with an ISO play. It was a bit of a fake out ISO play. We had somebody isolate downfield, but it was actually the person coming from the reset point driving up line. And they did get an opening. There was just an unfortunate execution error. But it looks like they're coming out with a bit more of a horizontal set, them giving the cutter in the midfield lots of space here. Yeah. Maybe Giacometti getting involved as well from this away sideline.
Okay, so it's a slash play. Looks like a tree for those that from the West Coast. That's what we call that one.
Yeah.
And finds the reset to Jang. It was a tight one. He's looking for some options, still looking downfield, elects to go to his reset. Orzer this time available, but he's looking for receivers, hands out, doesn't like what he sees. Matheson comes back to bail him out. And a great heads-up play by Alex Horn, seeing that pass developing, poaching in the middle with the layout D. Quinoia's pass, it's going to turn over, but not enough to be a problem as Horn gets the double happiness and travel called. Gotta wait for that observer signal, everybody. The goal is not confirmed. Quinoia, he could have, well, I don't know. He definitely was moving when he threw it.
Yeah, the travel call, you do have about 2.5 steps to release the disc, as long as you're going in the same direction. If you do change direction before that throw, you have to reestablish your pivot. it can be challenging sometimes if you're creating that quick disc movement, but obviously defense thinks it was either thrown with a change in direction or maybe he took too many steps before releasing, and so the disc will go back.
So he'll just go for the safe reset. He knows he's got the confident handler core in the back. Barry has froze up the line with some wheels. Winolia's coming back for the reset. Trying to punish the front. Doesn't work. And Helios with the giant team effort. Christian Orzer making up for an earlier error. Now he's getting known and makes a huge defensive play. Reset to Matheson. Helios is a bit deep, so they're trying to get organized. Liam Gazda comes under. He'll get it around to Orzer. Orzer looking for options. Toba with some switches here. Are okay with following Jang all the way in. For a reset to the open side. He's pointing deep. He wants the huck. Huck's from Static. Who's got the read? It's Giacometti. And now the disc is moving quick. Slows down. Orzer looking for the safe reset. Giacometti hits the ground. Keeps that alive. And he gets the inside throw for the goal. What an effort from Helios in that point. Big D in the end zone in one corner to march it all the way down and get it in the other. That ties the game at 5s off of that break by Helios.
Yeah, they really needed that break at this point in the game. Great playing there, Orzer and Giacometti especially. And like I mentioned earlier, Helios has really good communication on the field. There were 2 receivers for that huck, but Giacometti called it, was able to come down with it, and they were in a good position to continue rolling. Also, really nice inside break throw there. If you can use the break side and use those throws, receivers are going to be open in that space, and that was a great conversion for Helios.
Yeah, for any junior player watching that's in development, all your coaches want you to do is use the break side.
Yes, please, as a downfield receiver, look to continue your cuts to that break side. As a thrower, practice breaking the mark. That 3-person drill, it gets used in juniors, it gets used in seniors. It is a super valuable drill to work on those throwing skills. Really good defensive play, too, by Alex Horn earlier in that point. His receiver cleared out deep, but he recognized that they were sort of out of the play, hung around, and as the next receiver came in that space, he was able to make that block and create that turnover.
Toba also seems to have the trust that if they do that, one of their teammates is going to pick up the check downfield. Yeah. Like, it seems they have that organic switch in mind.
Totally.
So... Right. No offsides called here by Helios. So everybody's trying to be careful. Offsides can be pretty punishing as the game goes on. So no offside there. Oh, false start by Toba. Now, will Helios recognize this and call it? And they can. So what happens on a false start? A false start signifies when the offense moved before the pull was up. They came off the line. Observer signal violation. Helios can say, yes, we want to enforce it. The disc will stay where it is, and now there's 10 seconds for the defense to set up as if it's coming off a timeout. And the offense has to freeze, so. 20. So, Toba here. Now, well, Helios comes down in this diamond zone. I mean, we've seen Toba find lots of gaps in this. The zone is not the problem for them, but they are in a tough spot. They try to go over the top, and Cruz just elevates to keep that alive. That was close. But finding the gaps in the middle is Toba's strategy here. Chang gets the give-go with some speed. And kind of gets fouled a little bit there, looking for the huck. Howes able to move it around. And Cruz now in the backfield, getting involved. Kind of quiet out here. I mean, it's just a handler core moving it around. No problem resetting, moving the disc. See you looking downfield. Something's developing downfield, but Helios doing a great job of just locking down the backfield so that they can continue putting pressure on the handlers to create a shot like this. But Toba has the read. Wow, and one through the contact. Number 11, North Redder, with an amazing read over Daniel Malinsky-Triska.
That was
That's
a fantastic grab. And good recognition as well on Mitra coming down to support the disc so that they had an option to throw that goal just about right away.
Do you think that is what Helios kind of wanted, though? I mean, they made 20 passes in the backfield. Was that a frustration, Huck, or was that an opportunity?
I would argue that was a frustration, Huck. The Helios defense there made them do lots of passes. Honestly, the receiver didn't look super open. The deep player was right there, but it can also be a case of know your receiver. They were isolated one-on-one in space. You put that disc out into space. If you know your receiver is strong and is going to come down with it, it can be a good risk. And it obviously paid off in this case.
Yeah, faith in your teammates, you know, it's good to have. You want to make sure you're also setting them up for success. Timeout here by, or was that? Okay. We just got a bunch of signals. I don't know what's happening. I believe it's a timeout. And it would be Toba's because Helios has already used their 2.
Yeah. I also didn't hate that.
Halftime. I don't know. No, it's not. Okay, it's a timeout.
It's a timeout.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No worries as we're trying to figure out what's going on here. I was just going to say, I didn't hate that Huck look either because if there was a turnover, at least the turnover is down near their attacking end zone versus having a short field turnover.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. You know, it's just, we can at least pin the other team down there off a Huck.
Yeah.
You know, the old Huck and pin.
The old Huck and pin, tried and true. It is interesting, though, there isn't a lot of movement downfield in that zone offense. Like you said, they are looking to sort of create space in the middle, win through their throws, and they did win through their throw there.
I believe we're going to take half at 7. I think what we were getting the signal from the observer.
That makes sense.
Half
yes.
at 7 after this timeout. So a little confusing, but we figured it out, as we do.
Yep. Ultimate Frisbee, all about that communication.
And hand signals.
Lots of hand signals.
Lots of hand signal.
Yeah.
It's becoming more of a thing. It's getting so much better than it used to.
Well, especially in a showcase field like this where there is lots of noise. You can hear the sidelines cheering. Hand signals are super valuable so that you are all on the same page.
Oh, that sky of a pole sails out of bounds. Woolen will get to take this where it crossed out of bounds. Goes behind the brick so he could bring it to the brick. You're wondering why he's going where he's going. Match defense here by Toba. Mullen's gonna pitch it. Wow. Lloyd Hagan is very fast.
Indeed. I thought there was almost going to be a pick in the midfield there as they slashed across, but another player was also coming across there, but they were able to maintain their spacing, created all that open field in the deep space, and put it out to space.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about faith in receivers. Obviously, Mullen knowing that Higgins got the wheels, that they can just shoot that. That's the second time Higgins just took off and been uncovered. I believe he's 2 for 3 on that look. The score is now 6-6, so this would be the proverbial galaxy point for half, if we're indeed right about that. At halftime, I'm going to say this now, so we don't have to when half starts, but we typically do player interviews. So if both teams are willing, they'll send a player over, and you can stick around in half to watch and hear those. Or if you would rather not, halftime is 7 minutes. So when half starts, we will. You can just come back in 7 minutes, and that's when we'll get going with play proper.
Yeah. 6-6 though, couldn't ask for a more exciting quarterfinal matchup here. And again, very similar to their matchup last year that went to Universe Point. So super excited to see what they come out with here.
Yeah, can be any time. I mean, 2 breaks apiece, right?
Yeah.
We are on serve. Helios coming down in that diamond once again, but Harry looking for that reset, trying, allows Helios to get set, but he had so many options as a reset. No big deal. Chang is there. Gets that around is Becta. Becta. He'll do a little give-go with Froze. Froze comes all the way across. And he's going to try and go around the zone and punish the wing, but Orzer says, no, thank you. I see that. And gets the D. So break chance for Helios. They started the game with a break going in this direction. They could finish the half doing the same. Matheson. Looking for an underneath, not there. Has done it. Goes over the mark. Down it elevates to make the catch. He winds up, but it was kind of a long windup, and Airy saw it coming.
Yeah, some good help defense there. I don't think that was his check, but read the disc and was able to get that turnover.
Howes able to get a reset to Cruz. To Froze. To Cruz. To Froze. Getting used to saying that. Froze everywhere in this zone. Eventually moving it to Redder on the wing. He's out of bounds. Observers do call that, so the observer signals it was out of bounds. They are the authority. Here, Coach Schultz on the sideline calling for the under. Wants his team to come get the disc. They do come under as Gazda now has the disc. Gazda's going to have to look for a reset here. Has Matheson. Bang calls the pick. They're just going to talk about what needs to happen here. I think this is a very fair pick call.
Yep.
So he'll catch up to Dunnett.
If there is a pick call, the stall count can't come in higher than 6. Looks like he'll be coming in at stall 4.
Matheson gets the upline, reset to Dunnett, throws it out to Wilson, just shy of the end zone. Wilson's looking for options. Must be running out of time. A tight one for the break. And Helios fired up as that is 7-6. They now lead with the breaks. We are going to get confirmation that this is half, so stay with us for a moment. We'll see. But high level of excitement here.
Yeah. Huge break for Helios, too, if that is indeed half, because they started the game coming out on defense. They will be coming out of half on offense. So to get a break, normally they would have to pull the disc to Toba, but because we're coming out of half, they will actually be receiving and being able to start on offense.
So Wage and I are going to go grab some players for a little interview here, and otherwise you can be back with us in 7 minutes when half is over. So we will be right back.
That's good.
All right, halftime interview 1 of 2. I'm here with Dom Blaze from Helios. Dom, this is a very exciting game. We're having fun calling it over here. I mean, how's your team feeling about it right now?
I think we're having a lot of fun. It's an honor to be in the quarterfinals, and I think we all know it. And I think we're quite excited to play more.
Was there any talk or notion of how this matchup against Toba would go? You did. We were thinking, Wage was 99% sure here that this is a rematch from last year. Is that correct?
Yep. Quarterfinals last year in Edmonton. We played them.
Oh, in the quarterfinal as well.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
the
same
Universe. Okay.
situation.
Same situation. So what kind of prep was done for this, or was it more just let's stick to our game?
It was a lot of like mental work of like we got to keep our heads up. Doesn't matter what happens. Keep trying. Keep working. Right?
Yeah. Seems very point to point out there. Is there anything your coaches have said to your players? I mean, they might be saying it right now that would just be paramount in this game to squeeze out the W.
We just got to leave it all on the field, right? Like if we lose, the shot at a podium's gone. So we gotta keep working and leave it all out in the field.
That's fantastic. Well, I'll leave it at that. Thanks, man, for doing this.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the game.
Yeah, thank you.
Toss it up. All right, 2 of 2. I've got a Toba player over here now. This is Zay Bekta. Zay, we can talk about all the things, or we can just talk about how 95 is the best number.
Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, exactly. Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
That is my nephew's favorite character. Okay, we'll keep going. Actually, so this is a tight game. I was just talking to Dominic Blaze from the other team. This is a rematch.
Yeah.
I asked him, what kind of prep? What are the thoughts about having this very matchup once again, the year following? Any thoughts on that coming from your team?
Well, we're a new squad. We kind of just stick to the same game plan, just try to move our legs, chuck the disc deep and try to beat them with our athleticism. Yeah.
Have you made any adjustments tactically, like against their zone or anything like that with the team? I mean, we've been thinking up here, your handler core has been doing an excellent job moving the disc around, anything like that. And you obviously are winning with your legs. You guys are fast, right?
Yeah.
But is there anything that you've said, this is how we're going to kill it? This is how we're going to break through or anything like that?
Yeah, we're just trying to move it, kind of dom between our handlers. I feel like we can beat them a lot easier, but we're also trying to start to look for those deep strikes. I feel like that'll be a big success if we can get that going.
Awesome. One thing we always love about the Team Toba program is y'all have one of the best fan bases. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's parent fans,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
Make the
do you have a big contingent here supporting at this tournament?
Yeah. We, the girls teams come support. We support them, and we got a good community. A lot of the parents show up, and we travel for a reason. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I'm going to leave it there as we've got about 45 seconds to the poll here.
Perfect.
I hope your coaches aren't too mad at me for keeping this long. Good luck in the rest of the match, man.
Thank you so much.
All right, cheers. One second. And we're back. Second half action at the Canadian Ultimate Championships 2026 junior phase of the tournament. I'm Clay Hallett here with Brianne Wager. Excited to bring you this second half between Manitoba's Team Toba and British Columbia's Helios from Kamloops. The score 7-6 for Helios, up a break, and they're starting this half on offense as the pole goes up and comes down out of bounds. Wage, we had a chance to interview some players at half there. The energy seems pretty great.
Yeah. No, looks like some good mutual respect between teams. They have seen each other before at nationals, and yeah, both excited. Knew that they were going to be in for a good game here today.
Mooland has been the pivot handler here for Helios, and he'll bring it up to the brick. Finds the backhand around to Blaze. Blaze goes back to Lee. He's looking for Mooland, but Mooland is being locked down by Atticus Cruz there, which forces a high stall throw, and Toba's able to make the play. Becta picks up and just goes right away to Cruz. Bang. And great goal by Toba there. The score is 7-7, and that's a break. So just like that.
Great recognition on that quick transition from defense to offense. If you can catch the other team on their heels and convert right away, that's a great offense.
It's huge. We've seen that efficiency from both of these teams. I'd say far more from Toba. They both have showed it, but Toba's has been ready to do that run and gun every time, I think.
Yeah. As soon as there's a turn, whoever's closest to the disc picks it up, sees that receiver downfield, and they are wide open. You don't have to be quote-unquote handler to pick up that disc just to get it moving, right? So if you're watching and looking for ultimate tips, even if you're a cutter on that quick transition, high value to just pick it up and get the disc moving. It creates those opportunities. If not in one throw, maybe 3 throws down the line, but it gets the defense on their heels.
Exactly. You still got the defense adjusting and not ready, right?
Yeah.
Which is a huge difference maker. So Helios a little late getting all of their players onto the field. Matheson runs on late. They do have 7 now, signaling readiness. And the defense is ready to go. This pull by Becta was going to land inbounds, and it has some spice on it, so Moolen lets it come down. Goes to Dunnett right away. And Matheson fakes the huck. He's looking for an under. Will likely have Hagen, who's got some speed, but the stall count is high. He goes for the hammer over top to Dunnett. Dunnett gets his check moving and has Blaze underneath. Back to Dunnett. Seeing a strike here to, I believe that was to Fader, who's been big in the deep end, but that is underthrown. Howes picks up. Another run and gun here by Toba. Becta is there with the read, going to find Cruz, and it was just to the wrong side.
And we're talking about that quick transition. There is a difference between being quick and being rushed. And unfortunately, I think that throw was just a little bit rushed as the receiver was changing direction to 7 back for the thrower, but the throw was already in the air.
You can see Toba riding the big athletic players as this game moves on, getting the familiar 90s out there to do the work. Fader is able to find Dunnett. Dunnett's fake has Toba players flying left and right, but swings it to the middle. And after which, that was...
There's actually been a foul call on the intended receiver there. Hagen was coming under, signaling that there was contact, and I think I would agree with it. There did look to be a fair bit of contact on his back. However, whether or not he would have had a play on a disc, because the disc did pop up over his head, that might be the question.
You're right. And Kian Mitra is actually saying, I think it was too high, dude. And that is an observer ruling that an observer can make. But in this case, the observer rules it is a foul.
Yeah, so in that case, it would go to the intended receiver, which is Hagen. Looks like they're just chatting about that.
Yeah, good spirit there, you know.
And nothing wrong with going to the observer, because it can be challenging, especially in a close game like this, to understand what has happened and what has occurred. So having that third party with their impartial eyes to make the decision.
Now, this goes back to the thrower, probably because the disc was never touched. So I think they're deciding, you know, you didn't touch it, so it wasn't a strip foul, so we are going to send it back to thrower. You maintain possession. I'm not sure if the correct ruling. We're going to trust the observers, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mullen. On the sideline trap, looking for the around of Blaze. His throw is low. You see him throw his head up, saying, that's my mistake. Blaze goes to stop the disc, but he's not taking the deep. And Ormiston probably had a chance there to throw a goal, but instead elects to calm his team down.
Maybe learn from that last rush throw. Decided to take their time here.
Cruz. And back to set up. Cruz looking upfield instead. Or House, setting up. And there's Cruz, and he's going to throw it up high. Elevating is number 10, Mitra. Back to Cruz. And Toba. Just swirly all over the place. 4 people involved. They get it done. And that is a break as they retake the lead. 8-7. I got a little lost there. They were moving that fast.
They sure were. And that quick disc movement, I think, is what Toba is getting known for here, right? They're quick on the transition, quick in play, just to keep them moving. If you don't allow the defense to set up, it can be challenging to get that mark on.
Timeout called here by Helios. Probably just they had success with this earlier, and it's just like, hey, forget about those errors. Let's get our O-line out there. We're going to set up a bang-bang play, score in 2 throws. They had success with that earlier.
Yep.
Similar arc here. Another opportunity to just settle things down. Coaches on Helios doing a great job of sort of reading their team's emotional state.
You're not seeing a lot of turnovers necessarily generated by Toba here, but they are forcing a lot of errors. So they're shutting down the deep space really well and then forcing them to throw those tight reset windows, which I think is giving Helios a little bit of trouble here. So if they can sell that down and just trust the receivers, trust the reset.
The silent Ds, where you lock down receivers and the thrower has no choice but to throw something dicey.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw that on a couple of those huck looks too. They're getting picked off by defenders that may not have been covering the intended receiver, but there are multiple bodies in the area and they're just not getting the height or the length on those throws. But we've seen them throw some big hucks. Let's see if they can do it again here.
So this puts us back on serve, if I'm not mistaken. Toba started the game on offense. It is now 8-7. So we're right back to square one.
We are. Toba's been playing a lot of person defense. We haven't seen any zone looks from them yet, I don't believe.
No, you're right. We haven't. We've seen a little bit of poaching in the lanes, and I think they don't need the zone because their switches downfield have been good.
Yeah, they have been very heads up.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, when the Helios cutter has finished their cut-ins, just kind of clearing out, not looking like they're going to be getting the disc anymore. Toba is being heads up and capitalizing on those opportunities.
So it's almost ran out of time there. Offside. Oh no. Ran out of time on the pole. Will Helios see this offside? They'll let it come to the ground. And now they can enforce the offside. So Toba seemed a little late getting organized. It's pulled at the last second in a little bit of a panic. And in doing so, went offside. And because that is the second one, or their second offense in like the line overage?
Yeah, the first offense was a false start.
That's right.
This second offense is an offside.
Yeah. But the field position stacks up against them. So now Helios is permitted to take the disc from half. Vader on the open side for the swing. No one seems to be covering Matheson. There's a pick. And Cruz signaling, hey, no, it's cool. You're going to keep that disc. However, I need to catch up to my player. Of whom I was impeded to. Matheson looks up line, doesn't like it. Toba coming in and trying to get lots of bodies in the reset space. Done it. Add Hagen, but it bounces off his hands on the outstretched grab. Becta trying to organize his team. He'll pick up. Finds Redder. We could tell he wasn't happy about that throw, but Redder making the play. He and Howes will work together to keep it alive. Coaches from Toba calling to get more players from Toba involved as Cruz comes back and starts helping out the reset. Howes thought about the huck, but now, to me, it looks like they're setting up a dominator here.
Not a lot of movement in the downfield from Toba.
Chang digs that out. And Cruz looks to Redder but doesn't like it. Instead, he has the reset to Howes. They'll play together as Cruz gets it in the middle. Becht is available for a swing. Cruz doesn't take it. Howes with the fake and gets the disc in great position. And Cruz making a huge play to keep that alive. The defender had position. Cruz hit the panic button and makes the huge grab.
Yeah, some
and
tight
I say
windows.
panic button, but maybe not panic. Maybe just X factor.
X factor, yeah. Definitely some tight windows they're throwing there, but they're making it work. And it just leading their player to space just enough that the defender couldn't quite get their hand on it.
So Cruz spiked it. And in the junior phase of this tournament, I have a funny story for you.
Please tell me.
Yes, you're not allowed to spike it. So 2 years ago in Ottawa, I got to the tournament early, and I asked how I could help. And I turned into spacebar guy during the junior captain's meeting, where they went across the rules in the PowerPoint. And they said, Clay, yeah, we could use your help in the meeting. Can you sit at the laptop and hit spacebar when we hit next slide? And I said, yeah, sure. And everything was fine until we got to slide number 8. And slide number 8 was very simple. It was 2 words in the middle of the screen and said, no spiking. Then a 20-minute discussion ensued of questions from the respective teams at the tournament asking, well, what if we spike a different disc?
What if?
No.
What if?
What if the other team is cool with us spiking? If you spike a disc in the woods, and it just kept going and is 100% outlawed. One of the reasons is we do have a limited number of Discraft game discs. Treat the equipment with respect.
For sure. I've seen a recent upsurge in spikes occurring so that the disc doesn't land vertically on the edge, but nice and flat, as you said, treating it with respect. But I'm going to assume that falls still within the no spiking rule
there is no tolerance, no room for how do I spike it or anything. It's just not okay. So a TMF, team misconduct foul, blue card. 3 a game until you incur penalties. Ooh, Howes coming across, making that athletic layout. Not quite there, though. Helios has some wheels. Redder calling a travel on Dunnett. I can understand the change of direction, the catch, and then kind of rounding the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, I never do that.
It's not uncommon, especially among handlers.
So hard.
Yeah, especially when you're just trying to get eyes upfield as well. So you're already in that motion, but you do have to come to a stop as quickly as possible without changing direction.
And why Redder has a case in that, like why it's not fair to Redder, is because Redder sees the path of the disc and where the defender is initially running to set up a mark. But then, if the mark suddenly kind of rounds it out, he's like, well, I'm out of position.
Yeah.
I can get my mark on because you went somewhere else. So that's why that rule's there.
Absolutely.
No matter, though, for number 82 as he gets it back. And now we've got some wheels from Helios here. Orser and Dunnett are going to play a little dominator action here as the rest of Helios comes back to get involved. Kind of running out of options, though. Going to look to Dunnett, who sticks around for the reset. Back to Orser. No undercuts from Helios there, taking a little while. So the front of the stack comes down. And a block by Redder, stretching out those long legs, gets the foot block, and he takes off. Becht elects not to take the shot. Wants Redder to come under, and he does. Flips it to Howes. Howes is going to look for Cruz. Lots of coverage. Hagen has the read.
That's some good help defense there from Hagen, reading that huck.
Done it. Rips the backhand around his mark. Seemed to adjust so it didn't get blocked. And Howes gets the block, but foul called immediately by Matheson. Howes is unhappy, thinking that that was just incidental.
Tough play for the defense to make without contact, but if you do get up and put the disc out of play first and there's a little bit of contact coming down, that's typically not a foul because now there's no more play on the disc if you knock it away without contact.
Indeed.
You do have to be safe about it. There is always the opportunity that if you come down in an unsafe manner, that could also be called as a foul.
So, getting a lot of reenactment here.
Yep.
After about 45 seconds, the observers will step in and be like, "All right, what are we doing here?"
Yeah.
And help the resolution along.
If there's no resolution, they may decide just to contest and go back, but it looks like the observer has made the call.
No foul.
That turnover will stand. So great athletic play there.
Now it is just a matter of tapping the disc back live properly. They get instruction on how to do that, and Howes will go pick up. Howes has Cruz underneath. Redder takes off. Cruz thinks about it, but doesn't take it. Instead, he'll look for the reset. Howes with the fake, gets it up line. Hagen can't make the play safely. So pulls out. Good idea. Howes looking for options. Swings it around to Cruz. They have Redder underneath. Redder able to threaten deep and then get these big unders with his size. And a turnover. Wage, I didn't see that one. What happened?
You know what? I didn't see it
Oh,
either. I was
okay.
distracted by the hand signals play.
Yeah.
But Helios has another attempt, and they're choosing to call that timeout. They seem to like calling a timeout just to reset their offense, set up a play from static.
Yeah, and that's their last one. So that's interesting. Soft cap is in 3 minutes. So this game is certainly going to cap. And we're going to wait in 3 minutes when soft cap comes on to explain what we're doing here.
In stark contrast, though, between transitioning from defense to offense. Toba choosing to capitalize on those quick transitions. Helios trying to slow it down, set something up here, and we'll see if it pays off.
So I didn't realize it was so close to the cap. I thought with the score it was kind of early to call that second timeout, but you know, with 3 minutes to soft cap, no biggie.
We're only, what is that, 1-2 points at a half here? Where are we at?
Well, half was taken at 7. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 points, there we go.
Yeah, this is our 5th point out of half.
I'm notoriously bad at knowing the score because I just like watching the play and keeping my mind in the moment. So please don't ask me for the score.
I mean, that's a good problem to have.
Above all problems.
Sorry, everybody. I'm too locked in.
What's the score? 0-0. Doesn't matter.
I'm too busy pulling out of bounds. That's my thought.
All right. Looks like we got a side stack going on here.
Oh, see, the entire Toba team just called violation because they felt that Helios was not in position and they kept moving. Good knowledge of the rules there. That's funny. All right. So done it with the disc here.
Yeah, coming out of the timeout, the person who calls the timeout with the disc must also start with it.
Side stack. Gonna just take a shot off the hop. There's help. And the big Cruz is there. No call. And I think that's the right choice there by Fader. Cruz just had position on that.
Yeah. And that was a good, spirited no call there.
Yeah. But there is an injury. So I think on the rollover, Cruz is going to check on him. And Fader just says, I need a sub.
Yeah.
That's some good spirit and competitiveness right there. I like that. You know,
sure.
Checking on the player. Both made a play. We're cool. But
Yeah.
Fader a little shaken up.
They're going to choose a substitute. And because one team is taking that injury, so the other team has the opportunity as well. And it looks like they are taking it to also make their substitution. So there's not one team advantage with fresh legs.
Gazda on for Helios. Froze on for Toba.
Yeah.
And Toba's going to shoot right back as Becta goes for it. Cruz had the wheels, but he couldn't survive the ground contact as it just popped out of his hands. Great effort by 71. Jang able to find Matheson in the middle. Tunnett says, hey, I'm open, and gets the disc. Very matter of fact. Orzer.
Great communication.
Yeah. And Jang senses the defense coming in and makes a play. He's going to put this up. Underthrown. Hagen stays with it. Can't get the Mac off of Cruz's hands. Toba's going to go right back. There is an injury call from Toba. Simpson. No, excuse me. Ormiston has to take the sub.
And play does stop as soon as that injury call is made. So you'll notice players readjusting on the field, going back to where they were at the time of the call. And again, you're also noticing Helios making that substitution, getting some fresh legs out.
Airy coming on for Toba. Blaze coming on for Helios. We just heard the soft cap form at the conclusion of this point. We'll cover what that means. Toba's going to shoot right back. Big receiver Redder in the area, but done it in him. Kind of handsy. Now it's anybody's. That is a tough call. That is a lot of give and take on the contact. I kind of sense no matter what, who doesn't get it is calling a foul after that, but I would say there's no room for that after you're that pushy.
A lot of pushiness. Defenders do have a lane. They might be pushing back. Offense trying to get ahead of the disc. When it's hanging like that, it's really tough to make those super clean plays. You need to have that body awareness.
Yeah. So we'll get all the reenactments. This is actually a tough one for the observer. Like observer Ethan down there, hanging out. Yeah. He's from an observer family. His dad was head observer at
second generation
His
observer.
second gen observer. Foul contest. That's probably I don't know. I don't like the foul call from the get-go, but this is probably the best solution to the foul.
Yeah.
Because it'd be very difficult for our observer to go in there and be like, well, you both pushed each other. So, like, that's not the rules, right? So what are you going to do?
You could have offsetting fouls, too.
Good point.
But it's a similar resolution. So, maybe not the best decision. The receiver wasn't super open. There was a lot of trust in that throw. We'll see if they change their mode of attack here.
So the disc goes back to Froze. The players downfield, they're just making sure they're in position. They seem content with where they are. House now has Cruz going deep, double covered. So Redder is left open underneath. And that gives Cruz an easy under. Redder tries to go up line. It's not there. He looks for a reset. Late. Froze is able to tiptoe that. House goes up the line. Instead, Cruz is available for the swing. He's going to look back to Froze. They'll do a give-go. Helios doing a good job of kind of stifling that, except Howes is able to get the scoop cut. That's in and a goal. The score 10-7, a huge point. Kind of pivotal with the cap coming in now. And that's because with the score at 10-7, the soft cap horn went during that point. What this means is now it's a game to 11. And it could have been a game to 10 with a score of 9-8. Instead, now it's a game to 11 with a score of 10-7. So kind of a big deal to give up that point for Helios here.
Yeah, not impossible to come back from. I've seen comebacks from worse deficits than this. So it is still anybody's game, but Helios has to work that much harder. They will need to score this offensive hold and then get 3 more breaks to win, whereas Toba just needs to score 1. So
yeah, like you said, not impossible.
Not impossible.
So, so you know what? I thought it was a timeout call. Doesn't seem to, well, what are we doing here? I can't tell.
You know, it might be a timeout call. Sometimes teams like to just let the 7 go on the line early, talk things out, set themselves up, and the other team chat amongst themselves. They are taking a fair bit of time here, and there's that official timeout call by Team Toba.
So I learned, I learned the rules. And timeouts are additive, so this doesn't reset the count for the next pull. This is just an extra 70-second break for the offense. They still will have to be, ready to go at the end of the 70 seconds as they kind of just let time run out, maybe seeing how their players are doing. Do we want a bit longer, right? You can't do that. You can say, hey, guys, are we ready to go? Are we going to time tick? What do we think? Guys want a little bit longer? Okay, timeout, because it looks like they're getting water for the players. They've been running quite a bit this game.
Yeah, you've also saw there were 2 injury calls in that last point. So fatigue is starting to set in. We are in that quarterfinal stage. Games mean that much more. People are putting that extra effort. So bodies are starting to feel it. And playing on turf is hard on the joints. I know we're still in the junior division here. They should be young and spry, but it adds up.
It does add up. I mean, if you ask them, they say they're going to be fine.
Yeah. They say, put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach. Yeah.
Put some tape on, we're good to go.
Well, Helios putting out an O-line that looks very familiar. We'll see familiar faces from Toba here as Cruz is back out there. We've got Redder, I believe. Jan.
I am impressed
Back to-
with these hats that are staying on.
Yeah, offside. So this is yet another. Now, this is the third violation from Toba. So I actually don't know
Yeah.
where the disc goes. Does it have or does
I
it go to the
believe
brick?
it's the reverse brick. I could be mistaken. The observers will let them know where to take it in. Oh, and it's only at half. Still
I
quite
don't
an
know if that's right.
advantage.
I can learn more rules, though.
We can look it up.
Blaze has an under to done it. Done it just goes over the top with a snappy hammer.
Love that look. Wide open on the break side. We talked about using those break throws, but we've yet to see a hammer on the break side like that.
Now, this is funny. Helios is trying to signal that they're ready to go right away, telling their team, we're fine, get off. We scored a quick point. I mean, it's not really up to them because, you know, Toba can take another timeout here. But they can take their 60 seconds, to be ready for
Absolutely.
offensive readiness. So, but it seems what Helios is trying to do is conserve every second. So they're making sure that they're on the line, ready to go. They know who they're going to take. So as soon as they get readiness from Toba here, I think they're going to pull immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, the troll move by Toba would just be a call timeout right now.
Yes. Try to prevent a little bit of momentum that Helios is now gaining.
Yeah.
It is a 2-point game now.
Yeah, there's two minutes left to hard cap. Now, all Helios has to do is score this point before hard cap, and the game will continue to 11, and it won't matter with the score being within 2. If they don't score before the horn, the point will end. The game will end.
Which is an unfortunate way to go, but put in the work early in the game, and that gets you in a good position.
Cruz gets a little disspaced with the shove. I respect it. Chang. Around to Cruz. Throws. That's Howes in the red hat. Threw me off. Seeing him back in the handler core a lot. Ari gets it back to Cruz. Howes looking for options. Chang is the option. Wide open on the reset. He'll go back to Howes. They play together on the jam cut to get it around to Froze. Chang takes off.
Little bit of body on the mark.
Yeah.
Unintentional, looks like just a little bit in the moment there.
Blaze telling everybody, chill out. I agree. I shouldn't have done that. Cruz has the flick to Chang. Seeing this domination from the Toba handler core. The 4-man offense been very, very common this game. Chang will find Howes. Doesn't like the option around. Said more players getting involved in the cycle as Mitra came in. And Mitra lays out, not in though, but makes the big catch outside of the end zone. Howes. One pass will do it. Tries to go over the top casually to Froze, and it works. And that will be the game. Toba winning 11-8 over Helios. Wage, what a great quarterfinal to cover.
Absolutely. Super exciting to see that matchup. Very different styles of play. You saw a lot of zone from Helios, a lot of person from Toba, a lot of quick disc movement, which they emulated to finish off that point there, like you said, just getting a lot of people cycling in the backfield, a lot of short, quick throws, and they managed to convert.
So we're going to take a 35-minute break and be back with you for our women's division quarterfinal matchup. I can't remember who. So you'll have to look at the socials fans and see who that is. But Wage and I will be back with you in 35 minutes. We're going to get set and make sure we have all the intel and names to bring you for that matchup. So join us in a half hour. We'll be back soon.